What's going on, guys? Welcome back to LOI TV, back to Cautiously Optimistic, episode 10 now as well, double figures. As Ty takes a nice slurp there, lovely stuff. But lads, how we keep?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, just watched Palace. See had a 1-1 draw with Everton. Not a bad result. 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go. But onto the Irish football now. I need something to kind of keep me happy after the national team let me down big time last week. So.
That's it. Yeah, Soccer, how are you?
Yeah, not bad. Obviously, pretty shocking weekend on the international front, but there's a few good games on last weekend. I watched the Rovers Dundalk match. It was a really good watch as well, and but shocking weekend as well for Rose. But we'll get into that later, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah. We are meant to be joined by Griff as well. He is having some internet trouble, but he will be with us shortly, I think. So, he won't be long. And the first thing we have to start with this, Soccer. You tried to play it off last week. You tried to hide from it this week. Have to answer for yourself. Where's the Harps jersey?
Where's the Harps jersey? Good question. By the way, Daniel Deneen Soccer was with 1C, not 2. Kind of sounds like sick code. But where's the Harps jersey? Good question. Sure, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens.
Have you ordered that yet?
No, have I fuck?
You have to
Oh, that's bang out of order.
Your press pass will be revoked as soon as if you don't order it. You're not allowed to use your press pass until you order a Harps jersey.
I won't be allowed with the Harps until I get one. Yeah, that sounds fair.
Only fair.
Yeah, I should. I'll do some research into it.
Research.
What are you on about? Like, guy's chancing his arm. Like,
even Finn Harps were actually tweeted us and said that their new purple jersey, which is it for Down syndrome, I think it's it's raising money for soccer. Like it is a great cause. So it will be nice to see you do.
So you're taking money away from that charity soccer. Let's just not forget that.
Yeah, it will be nice to see you do.
They really made me feel bad. The purple one. What do they say? The purple one looks great. It's sponsored by.
It is lovely
charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I'll look into it. I promise. I'll give it a thought.
Palace were playing Everton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lenny saying
I don't know what Lenny's on about. Like, they should have beaten us. Yeah, man. Gita made about 6 saves. Like, played unbelievable. They took Coleman off actually, and then they conceded. Like, he was man of the match for me. Like Coleman, I thought.
Really? Yeah. He's captain as well too.
Yeah, I think it must have been just because he played 270 minutes or something for Ireland, didn't he?
Yeah.
Then the one conceding.
True, yeah. Start crowdfunding for soccer to get a Finn Harps jersey.
He should have to pay for himself. He
should absolutely. Put his neck out in the line.
Has to be repercussions. Like, you can't just say these things.
They have money. Money to burn.
The only person not allowed to buy his jersey from is Alessio, baby. Apart from that, no one else is allowed to contribute towards.
I have the Bowes jersey to buy as well. The Fontaines Bowes jersey to buy. Which I think they wore for the first time.
Just don't buy that one, like. Don't buy that one. Just don't buy that one. Yeah, like.
The Bowes, I think they wore for the first time on the weekend, and it is by far the nicest jersey I've ever seen. Like, it looks the business. You
should have said it. You should have said if Bowes lose, you buy a Bowes jersey then.
Yeah.
No fault, like.
If Bowes win, lose or draw.
Has Griff.
Dead right, Rory.
Sorry. This is I picked the wrong complex. And Soccer, do you think you're getting away with not having your Harps jersey? Absolutely.
He's dead right.
Has Griff quit the show because both haven't won a game?
Yeah. It's not about making up lies with his internet, I think.
Yeah. He's here he was grand beforehand, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll jump straight into the Premier Division, I think, and start off with the first game, which was actually seeing 2 unbeaten sides going head-to-head with Longford Town playing host to Sligo Rovers. Longford Town, full of confidence. That Dardo's side have had a really good start to the season, and they finally came undone against Liam Buckley Sligo, who look really, really good this season. I think it's 7 points now, isn't it, from 9? So looking really, really good. It's a great win to get away from home. It's a tough place to go, and Longford obviously be absolutely buzzing. And you could see they ran into the ground really, and they're working really hard. Maybe that's a concern. Like, they work really hard as a team, but maybe their squad depth isn't that big. So maybe moving forward for the rest of the season, it might be a concern that their squad depth is a bit small, a bit thin. But yeah, great win for Sligo.
Yeah, I saw the highlights there. Both teams had a fair few chances. Like, it was a pretty good game by all accounts. But Gary Buckley with the goal just like 2 or 3 minutes into the second half. I think it was like a
Here he
loose
is.
kind
Here he is.
Oh, there it is.
Sorry to interrupt. There he is.
Hey.
Hi guys, what's up? Happy to be here finally.
He'd be mugged off before he even got here. Like,
I know, like,
Here,
has Griff quit the show because Bows haven't won a game? Like, oh my god. Yeah, honestly, I don't have much to say, to be honest with you. My predictions at the start of the season have been absolutely appalling. Like, it's just not gone well for me at all. Bows, out of 9 points, have won, so that's good. Yeah, no, I'm really happy. Really great weekend.
1
Shocking,
point, yeah. Fantastic return.
Shocking,
We interrupted you there. Continue what you were saying.
What was I saying?
What was
I saying? Yeah, Gary Buckley, kind of loose header from corner. Longford tried to get back into it after that, but Sligo saw really, really solid defensively, I thought, as well. Kind of saw out the 1-0 win away from home. Sligo kind of like a dark horse this season. Where are they in the table? Up to second. John first. With Finn Harp. So like Finn Harp, Sligo, and savage start to the season. It's good to see.
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. Seems a lot more spread. Results going every way, but at the end of the day, it's a long season. But I definitely thought Sligo would be kind of top half. But the start they've had to the season, like, definitely be pushing. Looking at how Dundalk and Bows are doing, they could definitely push into like the third, maybe even second. But yeah, they just need to keep it up for the rest of the season. Try and keep picking up results. In terms of Longford, yeah, I mean, there was always going to come to an end. I think they were high on confidence there after that fighting back against Bows, but Sligo are a good side, and I think it's kind of I think Mark was saying last week that might get this kind of loss, and then they might go on a run, losing 3 games and stuff, and then it's kind of the realism of the league and stuff like that. The Premier Division kind of hit them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Longford even react to the loss. Like, will they pick themselves up straight away, or will they go on a bit of a losing streak? It'd be interesting to see. Longford against Bows there last week, Griff. Did you watch much of it? How do you think Longford played in that one?
I thought they did well, yeah. Bows didn't play well at all, really. He had 1 or 2 good chances, but like, apart from that, just didn't create enough. Like, I think, the comeback, like, it was, I thought.
Absolutely, yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
That's a great point. 100%.
Ask him about Bows and he dips again, lads.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't let him away with it. Can't
How convenient. We will just move on while he's gone. I'm not sure what his buzz is, but we'll move on. He's actually like, he's completely live there. Like, he's just frozen like himself.
He's in shock. He's in shock about it.
Oh, so funny. Actually, no, we'll actually run through our predictions real quick for that Longford Sligo game. So,
you're only doing this because you got the correct score on this one, did you?
Did I?
Or is it this
I did. I got the correct score. I got correct score on 3 out of the 5.
Yeah, 3 games, unbelievable.
Pretty decent. Yeah.
I mean,
it's the betting tips.
46k man, yeah. So for Longford Sligo, Socko went with a home win, so no points for Socko. Griff went with a draw, I think. Oh no, did he?
I think so.
Yeah. Griff went with a draw. Yeah, sorry, making my notes here. And then Liam, Tig, and Ross all went with an away win, so it's a point for all of them, which is a good start to the week. You'll take that.
Yeah, happy days.
Happy days. And then the next game actually was a good game down at here's Griff now. How are you, Griff?
You hear me now?
Yeah, all good.
I could literally hear you all talking, and then I'm just like mid-spell sentence, and you all start laughing. I was like, Jesus Christ, like, that bad, like, it's so bad, like. Yeah.
So funny.
Hopefully it stays.
So funny. Yeah, you can just cut off mid Bows chat. So we'll get back to you later. We'll get back to you on that later.
Yeah.
It's not over just yet. Don't you worry. We're just saying you went for a draw in the Longford Sligo game, so you didn't get any points in the prediction table. So you'd be glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
full of good news.
He's having
twisting a knife in here, like, oh my god! Like, literally two weeks. There's been 3 weeks, and 2 of them I've gone 0 for 5. Like, Like, what is the crack, man? Again,
so
it comes like anything I say is going to happen. You can literally bet the opposite of it's going to happen. So it's just a joke. Like,
speaking of betting against Griff, he went with a home win in this one. Drogheda playing home to Finn Harps, and it was, of course, a 1-1 draw. I felt with this one in my prediction before. I was saying I feel like both teams will probably like shake hands in the draw on this one, kind of thing. Like both in decent form. Finn Harps obviously in great form, and Drogheda's like newly promoted, so it's going to be a difficult place to go. So I was thinking they'd both be kind of happy enough with the point.
Yeah, I think Harps kind of maybe didn't expect to be in the position they were in after the first 2 games, and yeah, it's always going to be a tough game traveling away to someone who's like when every single point matters so much down the bottom. So yeah, I think I went with a draw on this one as well. Kind of saw Finn Harps not being able to keep up that momentum, but yeah, I think I called the draw, did I?
You did indeed, yeah. Sacco, Ross and Ty went with the draw, and Liam went to an away win. So yeah, I'll take another point on the board. Yeah, I actually called that result bang on as well. In terms of
1-1, did you?
I think I said 1-1 for that. Yeah, so yeah, delighted with that. Sacco, what have you made? We'll come to you on Finn Harps. What have you made of Finn Harps start to the season? On a real note,
your new team.
Oh, super! Like no one would have thought they'd have such a good start to the season. 7 points, joint top of the league.
Especially not me.
especially not you. Yeah.
Especially not me. Just looking at their results so far. Obviously, that draw on the weekend, beating Bows, like and beating Dundalk. Like you couldn't have predicted that really. So Ollie Horgan, whatever Ollie Horgan's doing at the moment seems to be working. Obviously, as Tyke said earlier, it is a 36-game season. Ollie Horgan said that himself. He's not getting too carried away at the moment, but like it's gone really, really well for them so far. Like power to them.
Absolutely. What have you made of Finn Harps, Griff?
Yeah, no, really good. I'm honestly just wondering when Sacco's going to buy the jersey. To be honest with you, that's all I'm preoccupied with. Like, because there's been a lot of humming and hahing, and whenever we talked about it, and then the night that they won, the night that Finn Harps went or beat Dundalk, radio silence in the group chat. Like, that's all I'm going to say.
You're texting Sacco, the fella fucking reported on Twitter.
I wouldn't even mind, but like, I was all fair enough. Like, great win for them. I saw was it a BB's mistake for the first goal?
Time, yeah.
So, come on.
He literally shot live stream, like
maybe he might sort me out.
Speaking of Alessio Bibi, just if anyone hasn't seen our TikTok page, just if you want to go onto our latest TikTok, it's just we're trying to get Cal the Dragon to do our TikTok. So if you just go onto the TikTok and is it LOI Fan TV the TikTok, I think now. So you just if you're not following us already, you should be. And just tag Cal the Dragon. We're trying to get him to do our TikTok. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, check that out. The 7 Harps Ultras are going to come after you if you don't buy the jersey. Blood.
Absolutely.
Sacco licking up the Harps now. How the tables have turned, indeed.
Gosh. Good friend of the show.
Good friend of the channel. While we're here, while we have you here, actually, if the stream, what will we still like target at? 60, 70? What do you reckon?
80.
I go 70. 70
pretty fair.
70.
Yeah. It's fair. If we can hit 70 likes, that'd be fantastic. It'd be absolutely fantastic. And if you can subscribe as well, it will be greatly appreciated. We're on the road to 3K, so that'd be fantastic. So yeah, appreciate all your support as always, guys. And more chance of a match staying lit. Match lit in the swimming pool. Brilliant. Next game we had was Jesus Sacco, the man we talked at the start of the season, seriously struggling. Declan Devine's side lost 2-1 at home to Waterford. Really, really poor result for Derry. You probably would a better side on the day and would be disappointed with that result because that's really, really poor.
Yeah, bottom of the league now. Obviously not the hope, not the start of the season they'd hoped for. Obviously, as I said as well, like it is a really long season, but like them early games can be crucial to put down a marker. So like they'd be hoping for big improvement in the next few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Griff actually was closest with this one. He went with a draw, and everyone else went with a home win. So Griff, there's no actual points for that, but it's clear.
Yeah, that's a consolation. That makes me feel so much better about it, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, you didn't get it right. You just got it less wrong than everyone else.
That's wrong. Yeah, there probably should be some sort of like like thing in between, but like
No, they shouldn't have.
No,
they shouldn't.
they shouldn't.
Have to get a bang on the money. Have to get a bang on the money. But Waterford would be delighted to get the win. Obviously, they started the season with 2 defeats, so coming back from those to get the win against Derry is fantastic from their point of view.
Yeah, they haven't looked didn't look impressive in the first 2 games, but obviously Derry haven't looked very good either. And yeah, I kind of expected Derry to have a stronger start to the season than they've had. But yeah, fair play to Waterford getting the first 3 points on the board. It's as we mentioned a couple of times, it's a long season. Will there be many more of them to come? Only time will tell. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you make of that one, Griff? That result?
Yeah, no, I thought it surprised me, to be honest with you. I thought that based on the first 2 games season or the start of the season, I don't think either team looked particularly good, especially Derry, who I'd expect to look better. But yeah, I think it's a good win for Waterford. Obviously, get a few points on the board, but I think Derry, like if Derry don't pick up points now, the next 2 or 3 games, you'd be like asking serious questions. I think, you know, like if you go like, because even like at the start of the season, like I know there was Derry fans who weren't too impressed with the recruitment. They thought it could have been better, but like overall I thought it was okay. They had a pretty strong side. Like I was expecting them to be like the upper end of the table. So I don't know. It's hasn't been great so far. Like
yeah, exactly. If they don't start picking up results soon, like those European spots are just going to get away from them when you've such a competitive top half of the table with Sligo, Dundalk, Rovers, all them. Obviously, some of them struggling at the minute, but
it's a feeling it's only a matter of time before Bows and Dundalk are picking up points, really, don't you? A little bit. So
you just assume so.
I hope so.
Did they see the? I'm not sure if any of you saw the interview with Declan Devine actually at full time, but he was saying like, so the fella asked him like, there's rumors that you haven't been happy with like the amount of backing you got in this like over the window and stuff, and I was thinking like they've got pretty good business, like Joe Hodge coming in, Parkhouse coming in, like. It's not like they got a lot of new players in. Like I don't think that there's much in that question. I felt it was a bit of a strange question to ask him because Soccer, he did seem happy enough with the recruitment when he spoke to him as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he spoke at great length about the signings they made, the young players they're bringing through to the squad. Some players return and after spending time away from the club as well. He said pre-season was going pretty well and they were looking forward to the start of the season. And like it can go either way at the end. It's only 2 games and it's the kick of the ball between like nicking a point or not. They're 2 games into 36 game season, so like if some fans are, and I agree with Griff, like 4 or 5 games down the road, you might definitely start to ask questions then. But like you don't lose your shit after 2 games. Like it can go either way. Like there's no need to panic. Like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, like they've only actually played. If you get, they've only played the 2 games. I
think Rovers. The Rovers game is I think on Tuesday. It was postponed.
Yeah, which wouldn't have. They probably would have lost that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Pretty good thing. Give them some time to get back on track. But yeah, we'll go on to the next one. I think there's only one man to come to for this. Actually, did we go through? Oh yeah, we did. Sorry, one man to come to for this. I think. Go on, talk us through.
Jesus Christ! Oh, it's just I don't know, man. I think we just had an absolute shocker to start the season, really. And like, I mean, because looking at this fixture as well, if you're looking at playing Rovers, Dundalk, like a few better teams, but like no disrespect to like Harps or Longford, like they should get 6 points out of those 2 games, you think. And then Pats as well. Pats at home, like Pats they're a decent team. They're, like even Ronan Coughlin scored. Like Ronan Coughlin's not that good of a player. Like he's just like just fact is he's not that good of a player. And like Bo just looked so poor. Like I just think I did think at the start of the season I was like we were all being pretty cautiously optimistic of like the recruitment that was made. But ultimately, like you're losing Danny Grant, Andre Wright, and Chris Twardek as your front 3, like who are all like they're all like for League of Ireland standard quality players, like. So I don't know, man. It's quite worrying, to be honest with you. Like I don't think I think we'll definitely start picking up points. Like soon we'll have to start picking up points soon. But like I don't know. It is worrying because just based on the fact that like there's not really a player in the team you can look at right now and be like, oh, he's gonna get like 15, 20 goals for us this season, whatever. You know, I'm not sure really where we go from here. So. Out of the 9 possible points, like getting 1 is just like it's a nightmare, or just like 2 even is it? No, 1. What am I saying? 1. Jesus Christ! Oh my god! It's just a nightmare start of the season, really. Like so, I don't know. We'll see.
Personally, I would have liked the Fontaine's jersey to get a better start. Like you want that you want that to become like a little bit of a, like when we wear the Fontaine strip, like it's a bit of good luck, like get a good result. So I personally,
You're a spoofer. You're a spoofer.
I would like the Fontaine jersey to get away.
Years in his house waffling.
Yeah, that's just my views. Like,
Yeah.
Grammy nominated Fontaines.
There's only one jersey you should be focusing on, fella.
Yeah.
Ty, what's making that one?
Yeah, Bo's really poor start to the season. Like the same that we were saying, like need to start picking up results soon, otherwise that kind of visions of Europe and stuff like that it's just gonna slip away. In regards to Pats though, unbelievable start to the season. Obviously maybe could have seen out that one against Rovers and they'd be in an unbelievable position, but seemed like quite a resilient team, quite tight at the back. Maybe don't score that many, but yeah, you're saying that Coughlin he's not a great player. He's only got 2 this season. I think Ross dubbed the Firmino of the League of Ireland, but 2 goals already. It's probably
like
about,
harsh now, considering
probably is that as many as Firmino has this year. Probably like
yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of the way they're playing. Is like he's kind of like nearly a 10.
A bit deeper,
and then the 2 wingers are kind of high and wide. Yeah. But I know he's been brilliant, and I think it was a header from the corner, wasn't it? And it was a great goal. So yeah, and if you look at it, like traveling away to Rovers, away to Bows, and obviously the game against a newly promoted side, to get 7 from 9 there is really, really good. And what's the limit for Pats this season? Like, is a title challenge out of the question? Like, you have the likes of like a Robbie Benson there as well, and he knows exactly what it takes to keep going for a full season. John Mountney coming to the club as well. All these players that have kind of title winning experience that might just kind of keep them going for the duration of the campaign. I know it's early days still, but I think the sky's the limit for them, really.
Definitely. When I saw them like 2 weeks ago against Rovers, to be honest, I was kind of expecting Rovers to walk it a little bit. Not walk it, but like show their touch of class above Pats. Bearing in mind, Pats finished to the season last year, but Pats impressed me so much and probably deserved to win the game.
Yeah.
I'd say.
To be disappointed, like, because it went ahead so late that, like, to concede from that point is disappointing.
Yeah, disappointed they didn't hold on. Rovers equalised like a minute or 2 later, but their pressing game really impressed me a lot. Like, they didn't give the Rovers back line or like Manus much time on the ball at all. They're really, really intense, ferocious pressing from the 4 players. The likes of like Benson as well was integral, scoring the goal. So definitely one to keep an eye on this season, I think. And Yaros in goal, top keeper as well, I think.
Because he made a mistake against Drogheda, I think, last week. I know, obviously, all keepers make mistakes, but it's just like he is a top keeper, I think. But that mistake against Drogheda, like, it might just be a one-off.
It's good to see him come back from that and keep a clean sheet, do his confidence the world of good. Like, because they say, like, I suppose you were saying there last week as well that it's kind of lucky that it didn't cost a defeat or a draw. Like, if the fact that they actually ended up going to win the game anyway, kind of forget about the mistake a little bit. But if that had been the likes of the Abibi mistake where they went on to lose, you don't forget those mistakes, and they'd be in your head going on to the next game, which seems to be what happened.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, in this one, Griff went for a home win, Socko and Ty went for the draw, and Liam and Ross went for an away win. I predicted 3-2 Pats, so I had the right guy to go.
I was watching your thing. You were like, I think there's going to be a load of goals in this game. 1-0.
But if I had just gone by 1 goal, like, that's along the right lines of thinking, I think. But who was it? Liam as well got it right. So I'm just going to have to keep track of these. I'm having a decent week so far now, I have to say. The 500 quid is calling my name. But the final game of the of game week 3 was Shamrock Rovers, who came out on top against Dundalk. Probably the headline game of the weekend. And it's probably the headlines will go to the keeper, the Dundalk goalkeeper, because Dundalk actually played quite well in this one, like for large periods of the game. But Abibi has had a few clangers now, hasn't he?
Oh man, I think Dundalk, they were a little bit slow coming into the game. Probably due to a little bit like the shock of Gartland going off like 2 minutes in. Probably hit them.
That can throw you a bit.
Really
that
hard.
Can throw you a little bit. Like
definitely. Has there been any news? Has there been any news on that?
I actually haven't seen anything on that just yet. Now, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Whether it's an ACL or just like a minor kind of knee injury, but it looked really awkward. And 2 minutes into the game, it kind of knocked them for 6 a little bit. Rovers kind of started the game much, much better. But Mandrew's goal on 35 minutes, like, well, you have to look at the keeping as well. But like, he saw the opportunity, took it, super goal, and this is the best game of the season for him so far. Like, Stephen Bradley was full of praise from after, and was kind of saying, this is exactly what we signed him for. Like, kind of a few tricks, creative in the middle. He is that real attacking threat on goal. So that goal probably didn't the world of good.
Because in the past game, wasn't there, like, you could see like moments, like particular moments, you could see like he didn't have a great game, but you could see there is moments where he was good in that game. You could see
he's the type of player who
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, he's the type of player who, like, he'll always have a few tricks in him, but when I saw him anyway, he tends to get like pushed off the ball, like some big centre back would just like clear him off the ball. So reminds me a little bit of Christian Pulisic. Like, I'd like to see him like take shut the fuck up.
Here we are, Eden Hazard,
yeah. But like just a player like that, an attacking player, to like take the hits better and like take the hits so it goes in your favor. Like, try bounce off a player or like go around a player, not just get like pushed off the ball really easily. That happened to him a lot versus Pats, I thought. But Dundalk, like, I think he was in with a shout of man of the match if Manus wasn't in the question. But Manus was top class. Dundalk pulled one back, but Dylan Watt's goal was class as well. But I think a lot of the headlines would go to Abibi.
Yeah, I think it could have been. Is probably an easy, like, if in a different you should have saved that. Like, you went to underneath him, I think, didn't it? Like,
yeah.
Probably just a quick one on Gartland. He's having a scan tomorrow, according to Con Murphy. So yeah, hopefully that's all good.
I just think of BB now. That's like the last 3 goals he's basically conceded. Like, against Finn Harp's, like, obviously absolute howler. Like, and then 2 pretty questionable goals. The first goal not as bad as the second one. The first goal you can kind of, because it was very, very good by Mandrew. Like, probably could have been more alert to it, like, and his positioning could have been better. But I think the second goal is 100% saveable, like 100%. It was like it was at like a nice height for him. Like, it wasn't too far. Like, it went under him basically. Like, he just didn't get enough hand to it. Like, so I think that might be like pretty worrying, because you go from Gary Rogers, who's like been one of the most dependable goalkeepers in the league VAR in the last few years, and then going to this fella who just seems like he's having a howler a game at this rate, really, like, which is a bit mad. Like, I don't know, like,
just shows you the difference a top keeper makes. Like, he just doesn't look comfortable in the goal. Like, that second one is so saveable. Even the first one's position does look a bit dodgy. I was actually watching back on I think it was the President's Cup goal, that he just looked a little bit weird in the goal. I don't know if it's just me. Like, Soccer, you might know more than me on that. But yeah, the Manus had an absolutely unbelievable game, like, keeping them in it, and he went on to win it then.
Shows you, like, they win you titles, don't they, keepers? Like, I mean, like, obviously Liverpool is an example you go to as well with Karius, and then the difference Alisson made when he came in.
Yeah.
Like, such a difference.
Gary Rogers was doing punditry for RT after the match, and he kind of dissected the BB's moments as well. But like,
did he have his clothes with him? Did he? They want a half time, like.
No, I think he had a pair of fucking warm gloves because it was absolutely freezing at the stadium. I think it's the most coldest stadium in Ireland. But like, you look at Rogers, they'd such a dependable. Like, he did a mistake, like every keeper does, but such a, like, you have 7.5 out of 10, like, every game from him for years and years. And when you have a confident keeper, you have a confident back line, and that spreads up throughout the team. And the last few games, like, this is right what Tyke said, the President's Cup goal probably could have done better on. And then Penos is just kind of a lottery, and he went the right way. And he kind of, one thing I thought, he kind of, like, you save the win in Peno in the President's Cup, you're going to celebrate, obviously, but he, like, I think he took the trophy off. Was it Brian Ireland? He took the trophy and like posed for the cameras. And he got a little bit of an ego, and he kind of loved himself a little bit. So it's kind of interesting to see that, like, nosedive.
You have to back it up if you're having an ego. You have to back it up.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a Pickford type, like kind of loves himself a little bit as well, and kind of wants to make the headlines, but like doesn't do his bread and butter stuff at the end of the day. So there'll be close. There'll be a close eye on him, like, the next 3 games. So
No, definitely. Just an interesting comment here. Actually, a couple of people are saying it because Dundalk did actually sign Peter Cherry as well, who was Derry City's number 1 last season. So at this rate, I think I'd throw him in. Like
It's one of those things. Like, do you back your keeper and try and stick with him for another week? Because if you take him out now, like he's your second choice keeper. Like if he ever tries to go back in, his confidence is going to be on the floor. Like, so do you maybe give him another week or two? But then chances are you could drop points in some huge games coming up.
They need to fix it now, like, don't they? Really, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when like potentially a job on the line there and stuff as well. Like you need to turn the results around. Like
it's not like an outfield player, like where you miss a chance and you can still kind of go on and win the game. But if you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, it's almost always leading to a goal. Like,
if he continues the way he's going, the next, like, you could put any number on it, but maybe like a month or two, he might choose to go with Cherry again. Like I've seen it a lot under Frank Lampard, when he dropped Kepa twice or 3 times. I think it was twice, and put Willie in instead before getting Mendy. So it's a really delicate situation. Like, so there'll be a big spotlight on him the next few games, and it's either sink or swim. Like Peter Cherry is more than good enough to come in.
Yeah, and the fact that they brought in such a strong number 2 shows that they're possibly preparing for this scenario where Bibby maybe wasn't as good as they would have liked, possibly. On this one though, on Griff, you'll be delighted to know that you absolutely went for a home win.
Did I? Yeah.
So that's a point on the board for you. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, Jesus. Get in. Yes, I knew it. What could I say? Like I had a feeling. That's 1 point on the board for this week, is it? Magic. Like.
I think that's the last game actually. Yes, that'd be 1 point on the board. Tig, you got a point for this one as well. So did I. And Socko and Liam both went for draws. So Socko only got 1 point this week. He was on the top of the leaderboard last week. Just a 1 point this week.
You're in the relegation zone with me, Socko.
Yeah. It's a long season, man. It's a marathon, my friend.
We'll go through the next 5 games for this weekend. So do our predictions for them as well. St. Pat's play host to Derry City. I'd probably think that a home win is written all over this. Pat's obviously starting the season really well. Derry 2 losses from 2. I think this one's probably a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think you've got to go with a home win based on the results that have happened so far and what Pats have shown us. So I'll have to agree with you there.
Yeah, I agree as well. But I mean, you can probably bank on a draw now. So,
yeah, I might change mine actually.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think Pats have looked real good so far, and Derry just haven't. So I say Pats.
Yeah, same here. Just going on form, home win.
Yeah, that's everyone, because I'm looking at Liam's predictions as well. He sent them to me, and he went for a home win there as well. So that's an all-round home win.
Usually when we all go with the same results, it doesn't happen.
I know, yeah. So. I'm to go with something else now. Get in your comments for each game as we're going through them in the comments, and we'll just keep an eye on them. Next game, Finn Harps versus Waterford. And Finn has win this again, like the start of the season, like unbelievable.
That's an interesting, because Waterford had that win last weekend, of course, and Orton versus Sligo, they didn't look too bad. Finn Harps have been a revelation at the start of this season, so like that'd be a decent game now. It's hard call.
I'd go home. I think.
Again, I'm probably going to agree with you. I think I'll go with a home win again. But Harps have been quite good, and Foley's been very impressive. I can definitely see him picking up another goal or 2 here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a draw.
Draw.
I just I think that's
definitely sticking with a home win.
I think home. Never more confident.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling. It's a gut instinct now, so that's probably going to be completely wrong. But yeah, I'm going to say a draw.
Liam also did a draw.
Killian McCarthy.
Yeah. What do you think, Soccer?
Home win. All my Harps fans.
Jesus,
toughest place to go in the country. Toughest away.
Toughest away day.
Toughest away in Europe, Killian said.
If Finn Harps win, lose, or draw, Socko will buy the jersey this weekend. So that's 3 for a Finn Harps win and 2 for a draw. So then we can move on to the 2 newly promoted sides go head to head as Longford Town play host to Drogheda. It could be a good game as well. Both sides be happy enough with their starts to the season. Longford coming in off their first loss and Drogheda coming in off that 1-1 draw with Finn Harps. So this one probably for me, I'd be leaning towards smack down the middle maybe with the draw. Won't be much in it.
I'm gonna go with a draw or away win. I just think Longford might start hitting a bit of a slide now. They picked up some good results at the start of the season, but I think Drogheda definitely have a better team, I think, and I think they'll go away and win this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Drogheda win as well. I kind of just because I don't want Tiger to get any more points, I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna take everyone down with me, like whoever people vote for, I'm gonna vote for that as well. Like,
Out of spice.
Yeah, shocking! Like I'm not even gonna give I'm not gonna give like any reason for why I'm doing.
No reason. Yeah.
Not justifying it, like.
Yeah. What do you think, Socko?
So you could see either team nicking it. I'd go for Longford purely based on the fact that Darragh Doyle's a smashing bloke. So yeah, Longford.
Good reasons anyway.
Good reasons any in fairness for that one day. So Socko went with home. Me and Liam both went for the draw, and Griffin Tig both went for an away win there. That could go any of the three, you feel. You wouldn't.
Someone's going to get a point. Someone's going to get a point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You wouldn't put a penny on that. You feel you wouldn't go near it.
We've got 100 quid on it, like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, true. Next up, we have Sligo. This could be a cracking game. God, Sligo Rovers versus Shamrock Rovers. I should probably include the Rovers on both names. To be honest, that might be slightly controversial, but I'll just type them out quickly. Sligo, fantastic this season. Shamrock Rovers, fantastic this season. Not fantastic actually, but they've been pretty solid. This is I'm going to wait to hear what you have to say for this before I go. To be honest, really
right.
not sure.
You're going to wait until what I say, and then you're
going to let Griff
go first.
Take the floor.
Yeah. My pick is I'm going to say Rovers, Shamrock Rovers to win. I don't know. Sligo have looked good though. I think Greg Bulge has been looking real solid. Like anytime he's been playing, I think they have a decent team. Like I just think Rovers like probably have a bit more quality about them. Like, yeah, I think especially after win against Dundalk, high on confidence. Like I think to be honest now, just watching like the first few games, like I think Rovers will just like they won't walk the league, but like I think they should comfortably win it. To be honest, like massive prediction probably won't happen now, but I mean,
just
like,
ruined their chances to win the league. Like,
I'm deliberately doing that.
You went with Dundalk in your prediction thing, didn't you? For your table prediction.
Watch 3 games now, and I want to scrap it. No, but yes, I say Shamrock Rovers to win. Yeah.
Liam actually agrees with you on that when he's going for an away win as well. What do the other two think?
I'm torn on this one. I really am. Sligo's just having very good. Like you could easily see it. I'm just going to stay on the fence. Just go with a draw.
Yeah, fair.
Just because I really don't know which way to go. Like I'd probably be more leaning towards Rovers, but since Griff picked it, I'm going to go with a draw.
Yeah, probably go with Tig. I think Rovers have conceded. I think it was twice in the last 2 games. I think like really good defensively, but like they haven't really kept many clean sheets so far. Sligo have been pretty impressive, all things considered. You could see Rovers possibly nicking it, but I'd go for a draw. I'd say. Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'd be tempted to go double chance on Shamrock Rovers if I was a betting man myself. But I'm gonna go. I'll go.
Betting tips channel.
Yeah, betting tips channel. Yeah. I'm gonna lean ever so slightly towards an away win on this one. 2-1 Shamrock Rovers would be my prediction. If you have to push me. Last game is a cracker as well. Both sides desperately need to win this, and if there's a loser in this one, there's a lot of pressure on them. Dundalk against Bows.
Jesus,
that's a massive game. That's a massive game. Imagine Bows lose again, like
Griff.
Yeah, it's either if either team loses, like I think it might be panic stations. Like I don't know, like
curtains on people on.
I don't know, like I'm not really. Yeah. I mean, the guy's got 4 years left or something. Like that guy, they could be relegated. Like he's not going anywhere.
There's no chance of getting
back.
Don't say that. Keith Long's making
he's going to lose his job now.
He's making for being sacked now. Like
Keith Long will be saying Keith's Long. soon
Oh my
enough.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Keith
Fuck
Sloan.
me.
Keith
Keith
Sloan,
Sloan.
like,
Jesus
right,
Christ. That's a
I'm gonna
name
go
there.
for a draw. I'm gonna go for a draw because, like, I'm not gonna predict Bows to win, because that would be extremely biased, and I don't think just if with the Ibibby situation, the guy just looks terrible anytime I've seen him. So I do think Bows could definitely score one or two. It's just a matter of like, I don't know. Yeah, draw. I'm just like, yeah, draw. I suppose. Like,
Take it.
I don't know. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Cherry will play in this one. I think Dundalk will edge it. I think they'll just be a little bit too much for Bows, and Bows really need to get their shit together. And if they could, it's just not an ideal game because Dundalk actually played okay against Rovers. I thought like they created chances. Manus was busy, so it's not like they're not completely shit. Like they're still pretty like a really good side. So I think Dundalk will pick up their first win of the season in this one.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to agree with you there. I think Dundalk are going to win this one. I was tempted to go with a draw, but again, Griff's absolutely made me go Dundalk winning. No, I don't know. Hogan's been in good form. I just think, like, without those goalkeeper mistakes, they're in a completely different position. Overall, they actually haven't been that poor. Like the two goals against Finn Harps, one of them there's a question of offside. I think someone said that Lee might have played him on. It's hard to see on the camera angle. And then the touch from Ibibby, the two goals against Rovers, and one of them, okay, maybe probably just a good finish by manager. The second one definitely should have been saved. So yeah, if they start to get the keeper, like I definitely think Dundalk will win it.
Yeah, Liam went with a home as well. By the way, this will
depend on. I think it's in Dundalk's hands. Like if they, because they're pretty, they threaten on the break, and they threaten like in the last third a lot. Like Hoban's been in great form as well, but the big question for Dundalk is like how are they fixed at the back? Gartland be a huge miss now. And what type of game would a BB have if he even plays? He might bring in Cherry. So I think this game going on form, like to Bows up to Dundalk, like you can't see them kind of getting much out of the game. I think it really is in Dundalk's hands. Like if they'll score a goal or two, no doubt, because they have that quality. But the big question is like, what are they up to at the other end?
Yeah.
If they can be pretty solid at the back, kind of keep Bows quiet, which hasn't been too difficult this season. But yeah, probably go for Dundalk win.
Yeah, fair. So that's everyone except for Griff. So no doubt that'll happen.
Put the house on it, like.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be a Bows win now. Like just.
Oh, it'd be so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's actually a massive game, though, isn't it? Like, there's actually like you can't really put like enough emphasis on how big a game that is because 4 games in, if one of those sides only has 1 point, it's just absolutely dire. Like it's really big. It's such a massive game. Who's Danny? Do you actually think Keith Long? Kind of joking about it a little bit. Do you think Keith Long could be under real pressure? Absolutely not. He has a 4-year contract. There's no way Bows would end a 4-year contract. Have to pay an absolute fortune to get rid of him. And he's still, and it's nothing. I thought their form has nothing to do with the manager. Like,
given everything he's done, like with the limited resources they've had, like they for the most part they just sell their best players, like and he still kept them like competing for Europe and everything like that. So I think Giovanni's probably more likely to be worried about his job if this one doesn't go as well.
Shane Keegan or what's the story?
Yeah, because the signings that Dundalk have made, like if they don't start showing up, you have to really question like what's going on there with Filippo.
Yeah,
definitely. We'll fly into the first division anyway. Massive shock to kick us off was Galway losing 3-1 to Athlone. I know Athlone did make a lot of signings in the off-season, and they did make some really good signings, and this is the result of showing it, of course, but Galway came into this as title favourites along with Chels, and they were 3-0 down and they got the consolation, but huge upset.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't surprise me that much given they played Chels last week, wasn't it? Galway?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't look that even after going down 10 men, they didn't get a result there, and it was a full half playing against 10 men. So I can't remember what last week did I say a draw or something like that. But yeah, in fairness to Athlone, like they've showed up. Their first 2 games was a 2-2 draw last week or something like that. And
yes, yeah. Was that?
Yeah, definitely sick now. So. Yeah, I think it was UCD, who are another team that they're not a bad side. Like so.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, definitely a great result for them, but Galway would be really disappointed not picking up any points so far this season.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just mentioned UCD there. They actually won 4-0 at Cove. Fantastic result for them to get off to win because they drew their first game, so to get the 4 points is good. And they always have this class players coming through, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's probably one of the best places in the country for youth development, obviously, because they get the amount of scholarships, they get young footballers. I do think like the first division's their level, really. Like, I mean, if any time they come up to the Premier Division, usually just get spanked. Like, so I think like I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they're up near the promotion.
They always are. I think
playoff spots to be on. They always are. They're always one of the stronger sides, to be fair. So I don't know, but don't have much to say. Dropped out of there, so
I think that's kind of what the result with that round kind of surprised me a bit with like UCD drawn, but then Cove actually looked okay against Cork, but I think that's kind of doesn't really mean a whole lot now. But after Cork's second result, pretty poor from them. Like Capantini, in fairness, to them, have a good start. Hopefully, they don't end up going up. Cause don't need another team from Dublin. Like.
From Dublin,
Shells with the last. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not Shells either. Like,
would you give it the biggest club in Dublin?
Galway and Cork going up or something like that.
On what planet, like?
They just would have fall from grace in 2017 for Cork. Like
it's terrible.
Yeah, crazy. Quincy Capantini. Yeah.
We were warned by Mark last week, like.
we were warned about every team by Mark last week. Right. Well, Capantini they put together a good side.
Yeah, that's the quote. Yeah, absolutely, and he's not wrong with that result. Anything to go by. But yeah, I was expecting Capantini to be on the bottom, and fair play to them for getting a great win against Cork, famous win for the club. Treaty United got their first ever win against Wexford, solid 1-0 win. That's 2 clean sheets in a row as well, which is a good sign for them. Going to Bray, getting the draw, and then a 1-0 win against Wexford. It's a good start to the campaign.
Yeah, I think we all kind of saw them coming after Wexford's first game. They looked really, really poor. But yeah, huge for them getting their first season. It's kind of not really sure where they're going to end up this year, but it's definitely not a bad start, especially because keeping a clean sheet against Bray, who went on to score 3 goals against Shells, who kept a clean sheet with 10 men. Like, it's a crazy league, really, isn't it?
It's a crazy league. It's
probably, I would say, the greatest league in the world.
Second ever greatest.
Second greatest.
In the world.
Just because, it's popped into my head with the hashtag. Did any of you see the Finn Harps car raffle?
It was won by the Sligo Rovers chairman or something, wasn't it?
If anyone's watching, get it on Twitter. It's fucking hilarious. The man reads out the ticket. I can't remember your man's name, but someone said he's from Sligo Rovers. And Sligo Rovers, and he was like, he's like the CEO of Sligo Rovers.
So dodgy, like father's head raffle.
So funny. But and he was like, congratulations to your man with the Sligo Rovers. It's nice to see other clubs like supporting other clubs. Congrats to him, the new car. New whip.
So funny.
The whip, so funny. Ty briefly mentioned it there. The cracker at Tolka. Shells drawn 3-3 with Bray. Bit of a mad game. 2 sides expect to be up the top of the table come the end of the season. But yeah, I think Shells going 3-2 down. They probably they were 2-1 up and then 3-2 down. So yeah, it was a really crazy game. Probably a standout player was Brandon Kavanagh on loan from Shamrock Rovers. Stood out in that one. But crazy result.
Yeah, it's another one. I think Mark said in that game, there's no way there won't be goals in that game, and he was right. It looked like an absolutely unbelievable game. Again, those Shells only 2 points in the first 2 games. They want to get their first win on the board. They want to stake their claim, especially with all the songs and stuff. So, but not the worst result, I suppose. You would have kind of maybe wanted to win that one to kind of against stake your claim at the top of the table, but draws after going 3-2 down, it's not the worst result.
For sure. So that's the first division. Actually, there was news, Soccer. You might have looked at this about the breaking news on the All Ireland League with the FAI and the Northern Irish Football Association. Looking like they're both going to explore the possibility of it moving forward.
Yeah, it kind of came up out of nowhere. Last night, the day before, the Belfast Telegraph. A potential all-Ireland league is back on the table, a joint venture between the IFA and the FAI in conjunction with the UEFA. Talks are unofficial and would talks not be official if they were between like the two associations. Like it must just be like informal. I don't know what constitutes like formal or informal, but talks are unofficial and at a very sensitive stage. UEFA want to encourage improved standards in weaker leagues, and this is potentially one avenue which they can deliver improved standards. Clubs believe they can earn an eye-watering £400 million from TV rights alone. A prospect would be hard to reject. So, like, there's a lot of talk on Twitter about it. Putting politics aside and just looking at it from a purely football point of view, I think we'd all be in agreement that like the more teams in the league, the better, and the more money that comes into the league spent the right way, the better. Clubs and maybe a few clubs in the north might be opposed for political reasons, but if it's the right way to look at it, like once they see the money that's available and the potential that's available for stadiums, for academies, for player development, all of these things we've been talking to for years, it's a huge opportunity. Not getting too ahead of ourselves, like it's only at a very, very early stage, and this has been talked about for years. But apparently there's a meeting on April 19th where it'll be discussed between the IFA president and an official from the FAI. But especially with the UEFA backing, it's pretty exciting. What would you think yourselves?
Yeah, I'd be in complete agreement, really. I think it's a great idea. I think it's one step closer as well to just having a kind of like even what they do in rugby. I think obviously we're miles behind now just in terms because football's a way more like divisive sport. Like, but I think even like I would love if we had like an all Ireland, like an all one team as a nation, like, you know what I mean? So I think that would definitely be a step close to that. But even what you said, just back on the domestic side, like, in terms of the money, like, they can only be a good thing, really. League of Ireland's been piss poor in terms of money and the money that's been allocated towards teams for prizes and stuff. And you see, like, we can see even with the national team now, we haven't got any players really coming out. Like, I mean, from Ireland, like from academies, like big name players, because that's because the FAI has been neglecting the league for so long. So I think that like having an All Ireland team with more funds and more kind of communication between the north and the south could only be better. Like, and you have more interest in you definitely have more interest in it. Like, even like your average person, like if you had a bigger league, like a more exciting league, it was better marketed, better funds in it. Like, you'd have like normal Irish people who might just be casual football supporters. They'd be more interested in it. Like, so I think it's only a good thing, really. I think hopefully like it's not going to be one of these things where they talk for like a few months and then it phases out and then like you don't hear anything of it for the next few years, because that's happened before. Like, so I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Ross, Ty, yourselves?
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. Like, just anything that's going to bring more money into this league is good. And like people are saying there, kind of some of the games might be a bit of trouble at them, like I think someone said like Linfield versus Derry, but I mean, there's a lot of trouble at our games as there is. Do you know what I mean? As it is, like suppose and Rovers, like there's trouble at those games all the time.
How big a concern is like these types of fixtures?
They'll only be a concern, and they'll only go badly if the whole process isn't inclusive. They have to be very careful. There's a lot of like political loyalties and they have to respect everyone's point of view. And yeah, you're doing it from a football point of view, but we don't have to get into all the kind of history behind it and partition and unionism and nationalism. But it can only succeed if everyone's views are respected and everyone's brought around the table and no one is excluded or disregarded. That's the only way that it'll be any success. If there's a certain section disregarded and they just plow on and create it anyway, that's when trouble will start. But it has to be inclusive.
Yeah. I mean, they mentioned the trouble, but at the same time, the atmosphere and like how much people are going to be up for those games, the build up and everything like that would just be huge as well. So I think that's kind of
definitely.
It's another fixture and stuff like that. Because I mean, a lot of people don't get excited about a lot of League of Ireland games anymore. But like, I mean, outside like us and the fans that follow those channels and stuff like that, there's a lot of fans that might only go to Rovers and Bows all year, but like maybe just some outside fans, you might bring them in, they might start going to those kind of games, and then maybe they might start following Derry a bit more, start following Linfield a bit more, whatever. So yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it all will boil down to money, and if there's more money coming into the league, it's a good thing overall.
Yeah, to touch on that kind of money thing about it, I know I was talking to a few people recently about like how even like games at like Turf Moor, like it isn't a very attractive place, but even watching it on TV, like how good it looks and how attractive it actually looks to watch compared to like watch LOI TV, the stream's a bit dodgy, like Daily Man Park is like all the like it looks a bit crap and stuff sometimes, like with like it's like overgrown bushes and all this kind of stuff, like in Talca, the seats falling apart and everything. Like it just needs to look better, like more appealing, like visually. And I feel that does increase the spectators and stuff. So yeah, I think the money coming into it is huge, and that's a huge factor behind backing it really. And I think it would be really, really good moving forward. And I think it's probably the only way Irish teams are ever going to compete in like European football is if we do this and there is more money involved.
Definitely.
I think it is a great step. And I think we all hit it. I think he's all hit the nail on the head with what
and obviously, sorry, just on a final note on that. Hopefully, I think the cup winners and the league winners in Northern Ireland get a European spot. So there'll have to be an agreement there. But you could see the All Ireland League getting like 4 or 5 European spots, possibly, especially with the third tier European competition coming in now. 5 or 6 European spots at the end of the league. At the end of the season would bring in huge money for the league. So especially with the UEFA backing, like it sounds really positive.
Yeah, for sure. It will be fantastic. Moving on. Anyone have anything else to want to add on that one?
All good. No, all good.
I think so.
So yeah, we'll move on to just talking about how a few of the Irish lads got on over the weekend and today. Have to start off with you, Socko, on this one. I think Callum Robinson, Stamford Bridge, the main man himself.
Unbelievable. Guy's got 5 goals in the Premier League, and every single one of them's come against Chelsea.
Brilliant.
Him, Dave McGoldrick. There's a few Irish players who just can't stop scoring against Chelsea.
Yeah. Why can't they do it for him?
I saw Robinson's finish. Was it
the first goal was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Emphatic. Super finish.
Maybe it's half the services as well, probably. In terms of
you can't see one of our lads putting in a ball like that at the minute. But putting Chelsea side, like West Brom were superb. Everything Chelsea weren't, and Robinson was class throughout the game as well. Loves goal versus Chelsea, but that first goal was one of the best goals I've seen all season. Like,
great goal.
Yeah, really good.
I think we have to touch on some of the stuff, like the abuse he was getting online and stuff as well. And it's like kind of always having a different Irish player every time, but there's like some on his Instagram and stuff. And I think West Midlands police are investigating it as well. But like, when is this going to stop?
Yeah. It's just a typical shit. Like, and even you sent in the screenshot of it. It's 2 people, and they both of their Instagram bio pictures are just footballers. Like, it's people hiding behind a name that's not them and stuff like that, and it's just not good enough. I think was it Henri that went off social media?
Yeah.
I think that might be the only thing that's going to stop it, is people boycotting and stuff like that. So players just going off, because that's the only thing they're going to realize they're not making money anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Instagram and stuff like that, those kind of platforms. It's just shocking, really.
Yeah. And the likes they were getting on it as well, like 15, 20 likes on some of the comments. Like, who's liking this stuff? Like,
yeah, scumbags, man. People who are uneducated, and largely I'd say a lot of them are just stupid kids who are Chelsea fans. Like, it's not saying the Chelsea fans like it's hard them all with the same brush, but it's probably these kids who just like, I don't know, just don't know, like, don't understand like the actual, like, how bad something like that is. Like, it's just I don't know, man. I think a lot of it obviously it's down to education. But to be fair, like, even I do know that like younger kids now in schools definitely get more educated than even when we were in schools. To be honest, man, when we were younger, like, we got nothing about that kind of stuff. Like, about like racism or whatever. We there was nothing really about us. Like, and social media. Because to be fair, when we were coming out of primary school, it was like we were getting into like first year, second year. That's when like social media became like a thing. Like, so that stage you're kind of past it. But I think massive, like, has to be a massive emphasis on education, and also massive emphasis because it's Instagram and Facebook and all these, it's Twitter. It's their responsibility to deal with it. Like, it's their platform that they're hosting these people's opinions on. So therefore, like, if they're giving them a platform to say it, then surely like they should have the like same energy and combating it. Like, so I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like they just don't understand the weight of what they're saying, and it's also the consequences. Like, there's no consequence to it, so they feel like they can't say it. Do you know what I mean? And like,
I was about to
I mean,
say,
we touched on the Ian Wright thing.
Right.
Like, that kid got away with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was he was 18. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should know better, and you should be taught a lesson, and other people should see that and go, oh right, well, we can't do this. Like, whether it's
absolutely,
obviously it's wrong and no one should be doing it anyway, but like, if there's no consequences to it, some of these people are still going to do it. Like,
yeah, and just on that as well with the Shane Duffy one, was it Instagram said they're not going to investigate it or something like that? Do you remember it was the messages he got as well? Like, so yeah, they're literally there's no consequences for anything anyone's saying, and it's like, as you're saying as well, it's so fucking, it's just these cunts with fucking players as their profile picture, and it's not their real identity and all. Like, they need to, so much more needs to be done. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't happen if it's your own name and your own picture. Like, it just doesn't happen.
No, absolutely not. Like,
you could even let people do that and like set up a thing, but like just scan an ID, like just to make the account. Like, you could have multiple accounts. You can have multiple accounts. Just have to have like one ID.
Like in the
someone to hold accountable for it. Like,
I'm no software technician, but like, we've all had to scan our credit cards, or to get like student discounts, you put up your student card and it scans it. Or like other IDs, your passport, you put it up and it scans it. There's a little thing, it reads the barcode. 100% agree with everything that was said there. And I really hope we're not having this conversation next week or in a few weeks, but it kind of feels like we will, you know.
It's like nearly 8 out of the 10 shows we've done or something, we've had to speak on one of them, I think, and a different player, like, which is just shocking. Moving on to better news. Well, actually, it was good news in terms of Callum Robinson's actual performance itself from an Irish point of view. But I might butcher this name, Andrew Omabamidele.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Sometimes it's delay. It could be Omabamidele.
Omaba midday. I don't know.
Was it 90 minutes? He played man of the match for Norwich.
Man of the match. He made his under 21 debut the week before against Wales. Then went into that game against Norwich and played 90 minutes, I think. And only 18 years of age as well.
18. I cannot believe he's 18. Like,
it's not like he's playing for a Wickham or like a Rotherham or something like that. He's playing for a Norwich or top of the league, going for promotion and stuff like that. So unbelievable form, and the future's bright at centre back. Hopefully a future leader in there.
Him and Darragh O'Shea isn't too bad moving forward, hopefully. And on that as well, like Daniel Farke, that's his name, I think, the manager. He likes to play like an expansive possession-based style of football, which kind of suits maybe what Kenny's trying to do. And then Adam Ida maybe can start getting in there a little bit. And if they're back in the Premier League, and Ida and Andrew are part of the setup, that's be unbelievable if they're even maybe not limited minutes, but hopefully they can get into the team on a regular basis, and 2 Premier League players potentially next season, hopefully. Maybe not such good news was the fact that Gavin Bazunu was dropped by Rothschild today. I know there might be an injury concern there or something like that, but I did have a quick look at Twitter for Rothschild fans, and they were saying that a couple of fans were saying that they were kind of happy to see him dropped, which is a bit of a shame considering how well he did for us in the international period.
Was he not doing all right at the back end of just before
games before? He got one player of the month or something like that for them.
Yeah, that was only like last month. Yeah, so
why would they be happy to see him dropped?
I don't know.
I would have thought it was keeper come in.
I would have thought it was just because he was away with us, like on international duty, and he came back and the other keeper the game because he hasn't been there like with them. But League One, they still play. They still play games when they're League One still goes ahead with nationals. So like, true. I think it's that's the only reason I would have thought that he would have been left out.
Maybe you're right.
Thing like, And it doesn't seem like there's an injury concern there. So, but either way, like if
maybe
they're
it was
starting keeper, you can come back in. Maybe he didn't have the prep, but they definitely played another game before that, didn't they?
Maybe they
Like
didn't.
I thought they did since the international players came back, but maybe they just thought.
You could be right, actually. Yeah, that might be what it is.
Maybe just because he's played those 2 games and he's been away and he hasn't been able to prepare for the game and how the other team played or whatever like that. So I don't know.
And Rochdale got the clean sheet today as well, so he mightn't get in for the next one either, which wouldn't be great. But hopefully he gets back in soon enough. You'd imagine he will. A player who's second in the assists chart across all 4 divisions, scored again today, and still isn't
smashing
the Ireland squad.
I can't understand that one. I think we were all calling for it, like even just a bit of experience and remember the goals against Georgia, like those last minute 2 goals. Like he offers that bit of quality off the bench. I mean, his final ball for Ireland was never the best, but it certainly was better than the likes of McLean and some of them, like some of those crosses we put in those Irish games. I don't know how he didn't get called up, but I think if he didn't get called up for those games, his time is gone now, and he probably won't get into the squad again, especially because the next games are in September, by the friendlies in summer.
Yeah, you feel this is probably his last chance to stamp his authority on an international level, kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, he's like part of me thought he might include him in the June friendlies, like maybe give him a run out. We don't know how injuries or like hopefully not what COVID cases might be, but he probably tends to agree with Tig there. Like if he's not calling him up versus the likes of Qatar, his time's probably up, unfortunately.
Yeah. Would you have had him in there, Griff?
I don't know. It's one of these things. I think like Stephen Kenny's probably trying to establish his own. Because you see even the players he's brought in, a lot of the kind of younger players, he wants to kind of try out new things. Like he wasn't afraid to drop Shane Duffy. It would be like, one of the first names on the team sheet for us the past few years. Like, so I don't think, I think he probably wants to bring in younger players. And even though McGeady, like he's done well enough this season, like he's still like, he's kind of over the hill, you would think in a lot of ways. He's a good player, but like, he's not like, I would kind of be backing Stephen Kenny in the fact that like if he wants to bring in like a 21, 22-year-old player who's probably playing at a similar level, I'd probably back him for that as well. McGeady's been good this season, but even on the international level, he hasn't done it for us in a while. Like so I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't think he has a chance really to get back in now. Like
it might have been a sense of maybe not taking him away from a League One team when like McGeady might have said no. Like he might have said I'm going to go up here and not play and like I'm in the form of my life here with something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and are they second or third maybe in the league? First team. So they're definitely up there. So he might have actually been asked and refused, but I doubt it, given the young players that he's usually calling up.
You feel like that would have came out or something as well? Like it probably would have been.
Yeah, because he said he spoke to Kieran Westwood before the Serbia game when there was a lot of concern about Randolph and Callagher, and he was asked by Westwood, and he said, I did speak to Westwood, but it's just not the time at the minute. He's not. He wasn't training. He was just playing matches. It was a bit of a man situation, trying to look after his injury. So, yeah, he would have mentioned McGeady if he did speak to him, but it appears not.
Yeah. The man who started up front for us in our game against Luxembourg, James Collins, scored today for Luton Town. I think this is 8th or 9th of the season, maybe. But yeah, fantastic news.
Griff.
Oh, like what can you say? Like he's I don't know. Fair play to him. Like he's okay. He's not. He's not. He's not going to set the world alight, is he? Like you know.
No. An 83rd minute consolation goal and the 2-1 defeat. Like it's just.
Do you know what I mean?
Keep it up, Timmy.
Listen, he gets the occasional goal in the championship, but at the end of the day, he's international quality. Like, he's only there because we don't have anything better. Like.
We had that chance with Robinson put it into him, and he definitely should have buried it, like in that first half. So, he needs to be taking those chances.
It's a different game if that goes in.
Yeah. Don't get me in. Don't get started.
No, go on.
I was going to say, it genuinely is a different game if he does score. I could actually.
It's Luxembourg. Like.
They're a very good side. They're
They're shocking, like.
The Dynamo Kiev striker scored against a Rochdale goalkeeper.
They drew with France. He
got an informed FIFA, and I went to pack them. Discarded them straight away.
Good player, Gerson Rodriguez. Up down the pitch. Vincent Hill was in the best 100 young players.
Shut up.
The Guardian.
Move on.
That was like 3 years ago. That was 3 years
2017,
ago.
2017, yeah, 2017. So
Yeah.
like, listen, like they
Darren's
have
brother, yeah.
He did look good, to be fair. He did look good against us. Like,
Until oh, Jesus Christ.
Darren's
Darren's
brother.
Fuck's sake. No, he did look a good player. Yeah. I think it's his brother playing as well.
There's like a
yeah.
dynasty. There's like 3 of them. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
the Tails.
they're like, I mean, Luxembourg. There's about 20 people to choose from, so like they're all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
Like,
I think
come on, man.
is it their 600,000 population or something, isn't it? I think.
Yes, half
Yes.
Dublin. Yeah.
We man Gerson Rodriguez is Portuguese, but don't get me started. Right, come on.
As if we
Killian
can
McGrath-
complain about that. Like,
Oh no, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
we can complain about other people.
No, look, shocking. Killian McGrath said I was skeptical about McGeady initially, but after what I saw, anyone who can cross a ball will be a good addition to the squad.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Like, some of the players that came on trying to whip the ball in, barely beat the first man, half the corners, or just
There was a few.
McGeady's better than Darrell Horgan. He's a better player than Darrell Horgan.
100%.
There's a few balls like Brady, Hendrick, McLean put in, barely beating the first man. Like, should be. There's a few, like there's a few things in football where if you do, you shouldn't be allowed to play football again. Like, not beating the first man from a corner, like, is one of them.
It is. That's
cardinal sin. Especially in like the last 5 or something like that, you just can't get away with that. Like, just lump it in there and hope for the best.
It is hard to. That's
1-0 up in the last minute, not taking the ball to get to the corner. Like, you need to get the bigger for that. There's a few
yeah.
Basic shithouser.
Yeah. One player we could possibly see, we won't see him in the senior squad, but maybe the under-21 squad soon, is Evan Ferguson. He scored twice for Brighton under-23s against Liverpool under-23s, and he's only, I think he's only 16.
16,
yeah,
yeah.
16. And
Sure, he was 14 when he played against Chelsea.
Yeah. Like this kid could be a bit of a wonder kid in the making. Let's build him up. Come on, build him up.
Did you say he plays for Brighton, doesn't he?
Brighton, yeah.
Yeah, he'll never make it. He's a sham. He'll never make it.
Yeah.
He's no Teo Ardemala. I'll tell you that much for free.
To be fair, he plays for, like, how are Liverpool supposed to defend against him? He plays for 2 teams, Brighton and Hove Albion.
Oh my god.
Shocking. Sound like Toy. But
Yeah,
he does look like a cracking player, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He's a
Nah,
big
he'll
boy.
never make it.
He's a big boy.
He'll never make it.
He's
Plays for Brighton.
bring him down. Like,
Prove us wrong.
should I mean, Aaron Connolly went through, like, he went to Brighton, got into the first team, like, and he scored 2 goals this season. Oh no. No, but I think as well, like, if you're scoring, like, if you're playing for the under 23s or 16, you're scoring goals, like, I mean, that's a good sign. Like, I mean, it's said enough that it was a sign that, like, obviously he played against Chelsea when he's 14. Like, he's always been a big boy, like, so I don't know, it can only grow from now, really, hopefully. And he seems like he's rated quite highly, so hopefully. I don't want to talk about him too much because, a Troy Parrott situation here, like, or something.
Speaking of Aaron Connolly, there's a Dan McDonald had a piece in the Independent today about him, how Graham Potter was kind of saying how, what's the quote here, about he's really frustrated with his form. Potter said, I think he's very self-critical, sometimes a bit too much. He's very frustrated. There's 1 or 2 issues off the field. He had the COVID kind of breach. I think he had
sex tape as well.
Some young one back to the gaff, I think. A few injuries. His form isn't where he'd like it to be, but it's important for him to recognise things he can improve. Obviously, he went off injured against Serbia, didn't play against Luxembourg. It's between, like, just the few weeks gone and, like, the back end of 2020. Like, his Ireland career hasn't. I think he's 6 or 7 caps now. Like, no goals. He had 1 or 2 golden chances against Finland and Bulgaria, I think, where in 1 or 2 of them he was really, really selfish. Just 2 goals this season now. Like, I think we do a lot with players. Like, he got them 2 goals. Was it versus Spurs?
Yeah.
Where, like, he build him up, and he kind of hasn't produced since then, really.
Yeah.
And as you said, he's the best we got at the moment. But I'd point anyone towards that piece in the Independent today. Dan was trying to find out the balance between, like, giving him time, but what's he, 22 now?
something like that. I think
23.
He's still,
Like
still quite young. Like.
still quite young, but giving him time. But he's in the last few games, he's been Ireland's number one striker. Ireland's number one striker is a striker who has 0 international goals. That's where we're at the moment, to kind of recognise that. And it's a balance between giving him time, but kind of saying like, come on, you kind of, it's time to start proving what you're worth. So he'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Yeah. It's a little bit harsh because I think wasn't Kenny playing Ida as number 9 and maybe Connolly off to the left at times and stuff early on during
Which
that
plays for Brighton. Plays off the left for Brighton a lot as well.
I think he plays kind of sometimes up top Mope and stuff like that. Yeah, he's
it's like a 3-5-2 kind of thing, isn't it?
I think there's definitely talent there. I mean, the physical side of it, like he can't play up front on his own. So I think the 3-5-2 kind of suited him a lot more. But at the same time, Robinson isn't like really that much of a hold-up merchant. He's kind of the same, just trying to get in behind. And we don't really have the ability to play that kind of ball in behind. Like, I think, I still think he's still our best option up top. His club form hasn't been amazing, but like, I mean, whose has, like, for us, like, you know what I mean? And like, saying no international goals, but no one's got an international goal bar Collins, like, and there's a tap in really. It was Shane Long made it, like, I mean, strikers.
It was an interesting comparison there as well. What's his name? Dusan Vlahovic, the Serbian. I think he scored Serbia's first in our 3-2 loss, but he was born on the same day as Aaron Connolly. They're both 21. And Vlahovic has 7 appearances for Serbia, 2 goals, 68 appearances for Fiorentina, 19 goals in the Serie A. Like, so there's a bit of a difference there. Obviously, you can go into like how both players, a bit of a difference.
Not really relevant, is it?
But like just the two guys the same age and just how much they produce. And I know there's a load of varying factors, but it was just kind of interesting how both
Mbappe and Connolly as well. Like Mbappe's one.
I was born a day. I was born a day after Mbappe, and I mean, look what I've achieved. I'm part of the best YouTube channel on the planet. So
Mbappe's never been unconscious optimistic.
What's he got to show for?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I was born the same day as Oprah Winfrey, and that's totally irrelevant.
You must be in your 50s then, man.
40 years apart.
40. I was born the same day. I was born the same day as Danny Manger. Me and Danny Manger are the exact same.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
We're both full-time influencers nowadays.
Absolute posers, yeah.
Absolutely, like
well, if you're enjoying this chat, which why wouldn't you be? Do drop a like on the stream and subscribe. It is really, really appreciated. And the last player we're going to touch on is Jamie Mcgrath, who has been kind of getting a lot of Twitter mentions and Instagram mentions and stuff. People saying he needs to be in the next Ireland squad. He's scored twice over this weekend, and that's 13 now for the season. And he's doing well at St. Mirren. Played well against the likes of Rangers and Celtic, only 24, I think. Has played under Stephen Kenny before, so knows what he's like as a manager and stuff. And seems like a bit of a no-brainer, like compared like that he should probably be in the next squad, especially because it's going to be a summer camp, probably a larger squad going over. It seems like a no-brainer to have him involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mark was making the argument last week that there's players there that are kind of just there, not really based on their performances. Like Parrott hasn't done that at international level or at club level, and he's making the squad. And you've got Jamie Mcgrath scoring goals for fun, like for Scotland in Scotland. And I've never personally haven't actually seen him play. I haven't watched the St. Mirren game. I don't think I ever will either. But it does make the question: like, what has someone got to do? What has someone got to do with like a club level to try and get into the team? Then is it just the squad is kind of set? Like some players in there that just don't really do it at club level, and they just get called up anyway. Like.
Yeah, and it's like Mcgrath starts every week. Someone's saying over like O'Dowda or something like that. Like
O'Dowda was the weirdest one. Like I couldn't believe he got called up again. Like the guy was injured for a lot of the season and came back and did nothing. Like should have been we need goals. We desperately need goals, and you've got someone there scoring. How many goals you got this season? 13 or something.
13 this season. Yeah.
I mean, I know Collins is getting goals, and we're kind of saying he's a different kind of player, I suppose. And
he's like midfield. Like, Mcgrath's like an attacking midfielder or a winger. Like he's on a striker like as well. So it's like he's like creative.
Yeah, I definitely have him in. Like, especially you see, like even there's some of the players kind of in and around the squad. Like even roster, you saying earlier, like Ronan Curtis, like he doesn't like even in like League One, like he doesn't really do much a lot of the time. Like against Wigan, he wasn't doing much. You're saying like, and if you have a player in like the Scottish Premierships, like it's probably League One standard anyway. I'd say definitely like or Championship even like like it's fairly high standard. I wouldn't be surprised if Mcgrath goes in the summer, like if he goes to a bigger club, like he's only 24, like if he goes to a championship team or something, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Like, which would be a good move to be honest, and moving down to England. Like, so I don't know, we'll see. The fact he's played on Stephen Kenny as well definitely gets him like a lot more merit coming into the squad. So
for sure,
keep an eye on like the end of this season, the next kind of 2 months. Definitely want to keep an eye on like so many of our players, especially the younger players, hadn't had regular game time coming into the last international break. So it's up to a lot of them players to kind of put in a good shift and get a good run of form going to put themselves in the pecking order before that June squad is selected. And then when next season starts, like there's only like 2 weeks of the Premier League, 3 weeks, and then you're straight into the September window. So like it kind of goes quick. Like it's up to a lot of players to put themselves in the shop window, because the weeks go by without you knowing. Like,
yeah, for sure. But yeah, that is it. That's all we have time for this week. Episode 10 of Cautiously Optimistic, and what a show it was. 10. That's 2.5 months of this going on. That's mental. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Only one blip when we had a power outage. Like some going.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
it's all about consistency this year, and I think
that's it.
Our consistency has. We deserve to be rewarded with a like. So can we hit 70 likes, please?
Yeah, if you can hit 70 likes, be greatly appreciated. And if you can't subscribe, we are, as I say, on the road to 3K. So it is greatly appreciated if you can do that. It does mean a lot to us. And
we're a fan channel, and we're for the fans, and it just means a lot.
Yeah. It does mean a lot. It means a lot. It means an awful lot. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate it. See you next time.
We didn't do it. We didn't do our first division predictions. Yeah.
I'll do a video for that. I'll include that in. Yeah.
I've got my dinner waiting for me downstairs. So,
I'll include that. I'll do score predictions and I'll include that in it.
I think Cork are going down.
Cork are going down.
They're getting going down from the first division.
Brilliant. Top man. Bush. Nice one, lovely lads. And Oisin, Griff, Sligo Rovers will win because you tipped champs. Cheers, bud.
No worries, man. Mystic Griff, I'm doing you a favour.
Nice one. See you same time next week. Appreciate it. Catch us then.